hi. It's been a minute, but I'm back. And I can still tell what you are thinking. I know. Do we need another white woman holding a microphone? No, we do not. But here I am. So I'm just going to get into it. So if you haven't been here already, what are you doing? And if this is your first introduction to me, hi, I'm Gigsy. I'm an independent musician. And today I want to talk about what the hell is going on in music in the past few weeks. I feel like everybody is releasing. 2024 is the year of bops. Bops only. We are not taking any more submissions for boring music. So, no, but a lot of artists have been releasing music this year. I don't know what's happened, whether it's like a backlog from the the pandemic, whether people, I don't know, finally feel like it's the right time that they can fully do things, whether it's that things have kind of gone back to some sort of big form of normalcy in the music industry and world. But I'm not going to complain too much about it, even though I am going to see 4 concerts in the next year, and I barely go to see one a year, even though I'm a musician. Listen, it's a lot, okay? It's loud, it's crowded. I may get a migraine afterwards. I'm basically an 80-year-old, okay? What do you want me to say? But before we dive in to what is going on in the music industry at the moment with albums that I want to talk about, I wanted to say that I also released music literally a few days ago, an EP. Well, it was a week ago now, but anyway, an EP called In the Ether, chapters 1 to 5, and I'm so proud of it. It is probably the best work I've done, just in terms of, I think, technicality, the production, and I produce all myself, I write all myself, I record in my little home studio, the spare room, at home, with a mic and a keyboard. So I will leave links to that, and you can also follow me on Instagram, etc., to find out more and see more about it. But don't worry, I'm not here to sell you things, okay? I'm here to talk. Arguably worse. So the first album I want to talk about is, can I just say this top is very garish, isn't it? Gaga really said, I'm going to make the gays look ugly. She really did. Anyway, and to release a jockstrap during that era, she really hated us. Anyway, Clancy by 21 Pilots. Now, I've spoken about them before. You know I am a cliquie. I'm part of the Skeleton Clique. I used to be a clique artist back in the day when I had a soul. And oh dear. Before I kind of got more into music, I used to draw and I used to make click art, and I had a relatively okay following on Instagram for it, and I was even I've been acknowledged by this. Sorry, this is like humble bragging. I don't mean it to be, but this is okay. Jesse Rutherford. From the neighborhood, I drew him, and he liked it on Twitter. This was when Twitter was like still a bit ugly. I think it might have been like 2014, 15, maybe a bit later. But yeah, anyway, that was a little side tangent. Anyway, what was I talking about? Clancy. Right, Clancy. So Clancy dropped, and as soon as Overcompensate dropped, I knew this was going to be a bop of an album, because that song was instantly stuck in my head. I wanted to listen to it 24/7. I mean, that's just a trait of mine anyway, but I really wanted to listen to it 24/7. And I just felt, I was like, you can tell this is like the penultimate, the big finale. Penultimate. Anyway, and Overcompensate, it has everything that I love about 21 Pilots. Like the switches, the fun, the like existential lyrics. I love it. And then I believe it was Next Semester dropped. Again, I'm not gonna lie, that took me by surprise. Next Semester really kind of went, oh, This is not what I expected, in a good way. It did take me like 2 listens, and I was like, okay, I've digested it, I get it. Backslide, instant bop for me. But I really enjoy that sound in general anyway. Just, it's a mix of like pop, hip hop, you know, classic hip hop as well, which is always really great to see in modern music. And that's also why I really give props to Doja Cat and her album. Is it Scarlet? Because then she released a deluxe, Claude or something. But anyway, and a lot of people kind of like didn't vibe, I don't think, as much with it. It wasn't as commercially successful purely for the fact that it used traditional hip hop and rap, and which is such a shame because I listened to the album. It's not my favorite, but I really respect her craft as a lyricist and rapper, and I think she proved a lot on that record. And even Demon, listen, okay, how my demons, listen, babe, I'm gonna bop that till the day I die. So, but before I go off again on another tangent, Clancy, my mother bought me the vinyl, love you mum, and I got the CD because I'm also meeting them next year. I don't know how I managed that, but I managed to get one of the signings for Birmingham next year, and I'm so excited. I don't know what the hell I'm going to say to them, because every time I go to meet these people, even if I'm like a casual stan, I will be like, I'm going to be fine, I'm going to be calm, cool, collected. And by the time I get to them and open my mouth, I start crying. Like when I met Marina, I mean, that wasn't casual, that was, I'm in love with you. But when I met Marina, I literally was like, can I have a hug? I gave her a letter. I put photos in there of my drawings and art of her. And I was like, can I have a hug? And she was like, oh yeah, of course. Hugged me. I think I probably like death gripped her by mistake. And I sobbed into her shoulder and was like, I love you so much. And she was like, oh, it's okay. Like patting me on the back. So everyone was going, oh, and I was like, no, this is embarrassing. This is what I always said I would not do. Bearing in mind, I think I was about 16, 17. So I will give myself some leeway. I don't think I would quite be like that now. Oh my God, I went on another tangent. It's been 8 minutes recording. Oh my God. Okay, back to what I want to talk about. Clancy, this bad boy right here. Oh my God. You can tell I haven't done this in a little while. I'm so hyperactive. I've only had one coffee, and then I listened to this album and got myself hyped. So I'm a bit. Oh, also this drawing. Hold on. Got it years ago from my friend Hannah. Amazing tattoo artist and drawer and artist and all the other words for art. And you can check out her stuff. I'll like leave her at in the description. But I went into this album, I already had high expectations. And I did say to myself, I have a feeling this is going to be their magnum opus. And I kind of don't like using that term to some degree, because it kind of feels like you're pigeonholing and you're like, they can't top it, they can't do any better. But that's not the context I think most people use it. I think most people are just like, this is like their best work so far in terms of everything. Because Vessel is still one of my favourite albums of all time. But this, to me, is their like best album. This is some of their best work. And I think that consensus is quite widespread for this album. I have rarely seen many people shitting on it, but at the same time, I am on clicky Twitter. So I suppose, I mean, the only person I've seen shit on it was that one reviewer. And I do think fans need to calm a bit. Not everyone's going to enjoy, as I've said before, not everyone's going to enjoy the same things that you do. And that's okay. You know, but at the same time, he has put himself on the internet, unfortunately, for a bit of back push. But yeah, don't go harass him. If you know who I'm on about, don't go harassing him. There's no point. It's not going to change his opinion. It's not going to do anything. Just allow it. My God, I haven't used that in years. Oh my God. Damn, that took me back to being 13. I think my top 5 of this album, so my brain is like all over the place, so I'm holding this to like, I guess, fiddle with, but also to look at the track list. But my favourite off the album has to be Routines in the Night. there's something so addictive about that song. And I don't know, like the second verse, and then Tyler's like ad-libbed high harmony notes in the chorus, in the second chorus. I levitate. All I know how to levitate up on my feet, and ever since the 7th grade I learned to fire breathing though. Anyway, but yeah, Routine's in like absolute bop. My second favourite has to be, and this really hasn't changed, I don't think, since I first listened to the album. Second favourite, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. Are you joking? That is the 21 Pilots song, in my opinion. That is 21 Pilots encapsulated in a song. It has a breakdown similar to Jumpsuit. It has a sound similar to Ride. I don't know, just everything about it, and the lyrical content is very reminiscent of Vessel. And I think this album in general sounds very regional at best and self-titled, mixed with all their like other albums that have been kind of released under Josh and Tyler with them too. And I think that's also why I love it so much, because Oldie Station instantly listened to it and thought of the Pantaloon. And I am 100% convinced that it was deliberate to sound reminiscent of their old stuff. It was very like the harpsichord in the bridge. I made a mashup of it. I'll put a bit here. I don't know how long I've got to hold this for. Okay, I think I'm done. Anyway, instantly reminded me of the Pantaloon, and everyone in the comments is like, it sounds like Vinette. It sounds like I'm like, I don't care, to be quite honest. This is like, make your own mashups, babes, please. Stop asking me for it, okay? I just did it for some fun, okay? And then I think third off the album as my favourite is that was a noise. Jesus. I think it flips between Navigating and Vinette. I think most people's top fives are very similar. Navigating, I'm not gonna lie, the first listen I hated the way he said navigating in the chorus. He's like, I'm navigating. And I'm like, I don't know, there's just something not quite ear pleasing about it. But then I listened some more and it kind of like started to go into the background for me. I didn't register how it sounded. But I think Navigating, Tyler said it was one of the songs that he didn't want to put on the album, and Josh made him. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Joshua Dunn. You are an ally. You are a friend for us. You are our voice. Thank you, because I know it's going to be so fun live. I know that people are going to be like, I don't know what that was, but you know what I mean, like jumping in the pit. Not that I'll be in the pit because I would die, but I can't wait to see people jumping in the pit and, you know, doing all this kind of cowboy stuff. Love it. And Vinette, I believe Tyler said it was about addiction. And it's very interesting because it's not a topic that I think they have particularly specified or delved into in such a direct way before. And people have been speculating about what kind of addiction. It doesn't matter what kind of addiction. Addiction is addiction. We don't need to speculate. Okay? He has shared part of himself or someone else's story. We don't even know if it's about him. Okay? And, you know, I think speculating, it can be fun. Like, theorizing for certain songs can be fun, but then there is a line where it starts to overstep. And I got so scared when he said that people were going to start going through old videos of them performing and then being like, this is clearly him on like, do you know what I mean? And I think, thankfully, I haven't seen that. Touch on wood. We haven't seen that. So hopefully it won't happen. But this album really, really is so good. 10 out of 10 for me. And that's kind of rare that I say that about an album. Even the songs that I think are less popular within the fandom. Lavish as well. I love Lavish. I think it is such a fun song, and it's clearly kind of like taking the piss out of those artists that, you know, have that lifestyle. He's acknowledging the fact that he is one of those artists, but also it's like satirical. And I love the line where he's like, he said it, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he's like, oh, I'll run my mouth when I'm stood behind someone's basically saying like, oh yeah, I'll talk shit if I've got like a bodyguard in front of me kind of thing. I found that hilarious. That was so funny. It reminds me of Stressed Out. I feel like it's kind of like a callback to Stressed Out, because Stressed Out had the element about money and climbing the ladder and stuff like that. And I feel like this is like kind of the conclusion to that. He's like, oh yeah, I've got that. It's kind of weird. But we have to talk about, obviously, Paladin Strait, because that's the closer. And oh, I got chills the first time I listened to it. Like the ending. I was not prepared to I don't think anyone was, to hear Blurryface's voice. And it's funny because when I first listened to the song, I interpreted it completely different. I interpreted it that he had given up, like the character Clancy had given up and was like, you know, I can see you across the way. I know you're waiting for me, but I just can't do it, because he says I'm past the point of no return. You know, he's like, what do you want me to do, basically? He's like, besties, what do you want me to do? Okay, I'm over here. That's a big fucking ocean. You want me to swim that? You want me to paddle across a besties? Send a fucking boat. But I think after a few listens, I understand that it's clearly about continuing to fight, because it makes more sense, because Oldie Station says push on through in it. So it makes sense. I get it. And the fans have been going mental that they think that there's a double album. And I'm not going to lie, I hate these theories, because it always sets the artist up for failure. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, with the amount of lore and clues and like Easter eggs that 21 Pilots give in their music, their content, I would not put it past them. It's, the number 25 seems to be important. It keeps cropping up, so people are theorizing that there's going to be another full-length album, I guess, to make songs on each record add up. But at the same time, like, my man Tyler has had like 3 kids in the past 3 years. My man's been busy, you know. He's been busy. But I really enjoyed the production on this one as well. It is a mix of, as I said before, it's a mix of all their old sounds. And I really love when artists do that, because I think it's like honoring their past sounds and maybe even selves. Because for me, I always feel like I've been many a people. Every time that I've made music or released music, I've literally been many a people. I've had multiple aliases for my music. But I finally feel like Gigsy is the one. It doesn't feel strange to say it, which I think is how I know that it's right. And I think it's always so, like, it's fun for the fans to be able to listen to a song and go, that sounds like this song, but not in like a bad way. It's like that's like a callback. It's like a little like cool thing that only fans that are really, I guess, obsessed might notice, like the subtleties. I will say my only criticism is I feel, because they said in the live stream for the album dropping and the music videos that they only focus, I think it's maybe 3 videos on, or 4 for lore purposes. And I kind of feel, and I get it, because budget, money, time, I completely understand. And they were already pushed for time, I think, with the deadline. But I kind of wish we had a bit more, because it is the closing. Supposedly, they're selling it as that, but they're selling it as the closing album for this story. And I really, really hope, I suppose Paladin Strait, it's a 6-minute song. So that's a lot of space to put in, I guess, a story like closing or wrapping up. But at the end, but also the song doesn't sound like it's a closing door, but then at the same time it could be left open so that it's interpretation. I think that might be what they're trying to go for. It's like, because as much as they are 21 Pilots, they always used to say in their shows, and so are you. So I suppose it might be deliberately left open so that fans can interpret it and come up with the ending for themselves, which I think is a really unsatisfying but cool idea. As someone who needs answers to everything in the world, yeah. Another album that has just come out that I listened to yesterday, BRAT by Charli XCX, and honestly, it's a blend of all her sounds. I don't know whether that's like a kind of a running theme that's going on. Perhaps it's just there's a lot of artists that have got to a certain point in their career that they have honed so much experience and explored so many sounds and genres that it kind of just now naturally feeds into their music, to be reminiscent of their older stuff. But BRAT, for me, I don't have the track list on me. Sympathy as a Knife was an instant fave of mine. B2B has grown on me. I did say I preferred club classics. I was a fucking liar. I mean, I wasn't lying at the time, but in terms of that was not accurate. B2B is definitely the better song. I'm so sorry that I lied. I think about it all the time. I think that's the song lyric, the song title. I really enjoy that song. It was really weird. On first listen, I was like, oh, what is going on? Second listen, I was like, no, I get it. It reminded me of Lily Allen if she went hyperpop. It was so good. So that's also in my top 5. So the tribute song to Sophie, the late producer, again, top 5. It's so beautiful and genuinely makes me tear up every time. Oh, Apple seems to be getting a lot of hate, which I don't get. It's not the strongest track on the album, but there's no like weak link. There's no weak link on the album, I find. It's all very cohesive, even though it sounds very like different kind of thing. Mean Girls I did not expect the piano solo to come in. I just didn't expect that. I sat there, I blinked and I was like, and I think she deliberately did that because it felt like I'd taken something. I was like, have I absolutely dropped some acid? Where am I? What is going on? But Mean Girls is also really good. It's got that late 2000s, early 2010s EDM. Like, it reminds me of like Akon. Who's the other guy? Like David Guetta, Akon. There's another one. Did Akon do No, it's not Akon. Tayo Cruz. There we go. My God, my brain. And it has that like really plastic, just electronic sound. It sounds like Sexy Bitch. I think that's the one I mean. Sorry, Sexy Chick, because feminist. I love how they like just changed that word as if the most of the song isn't offensive. They were like, it's okay, we removed the word bitch for radio. It's okay. We're actually allies. Such a bop though. I'm not gonna lie. If a song sounds good, I will accept a little bit of misogyny. As a woman, I will accept it. If I can have a good time to it and sing along, I will give you a bit of leeway. But BRAT and the marketing for this album has been genius. From the outrage for the album cover, the ugly font, the outrage for wanting Spring Breakers on the album but it not being on the album, and then she's just released a deluxe, which the deluxe name is so funny. It's so good. I need more albums to just have something stupid like that when it's a deluxe, because it's funny. But she put it on Spring Breakers. All the XCX stans, the Angels, were fearing for their lives that it was going to be another Taxi situation. But no, we got it. We won, guys. We did it. We finally got a song that was leaked. And she was like, do you know what? Have it as a little treat. And it's so good. I need to probably listen to the other 2 deluxe tracks. BRAT is one of her best works, like, I think, sonically. I was a How Am I Feeling Now girly, and I saw a tweet that was like, oh, the How I'm Feeling Now girlies will love BRAT. Yes, you were correct, we do. But then Charli, I think I said in the last one, Charli kind of took the spot as my favourite Charli XCX album. So I think I need more time to sit with BRAT to place it in my kind of Charli XCX ranking, because True Romance is also one of my albums that I go back to for her, because it's just so good, and as a debut, again, amazing. But also, I don't think I didn't expect the album to be as vulnerable and raw as it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're like dancing in the club whilst listening to Charli XCX Ponder If She Wants a Baby. Like, that is insane, but in the best way possible. Like, she really sat down and said, I'm going to write a song where I question if I should come off my birth control, and people will eat it up. People will dance to it, and there's nothing I can do to stop them. So she really is a genius when it comes to her craft, her marketing, and I really, really hope that she does get the success that she wants and desires for this album. I also tweeted and I said, this is Charli's art pop. I was like, I can't explain it. I just feel like this is her art pop. Like, listening to 365, also another top track, I instantly was like, this feels like art pop. I've been sent back in time, but this time it is being appreciated in its time. So there's not so much PTSD going on there. Because as we know, art pop is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like, oh, I'm sorry, it's just so good. Like, and you can hate it, that's fine, and I wouldn't say it was revolutionary in terms of the music itself, because EDM was dying out by the time art pop kind of came out and rose. But the vision for like everything around it, even the marketing, you know, Gaga did a very similar thing to what Charli's doing now. Charli has been doing, like, obviously it's the modern version with the new landscape of social media, but Charli has been doing live streams on TikTok of people putting up, like, I guess people people she's paid, plasterers, to put on walls like the title of the albums and stuff like that. And Gaga did a similar thing with her fans. She got a group of fans to graffiti on a wall the track list for the album, and everything just feels so like finely crafted, and it's very, very on brand for the album, because the album is about club culture. It is about raves and partying, and the thing I would, you know, associate with that is giant text on a wall, like in terms of like a poster or something to advertise these club nights out. So I think there's very subtle connections there that just work so well in Charli's favour. And the colour itself of the BRAT cover and era, that lime in your face green, this was like the closest fluorescent colour I had to it, is genius, because it's so offensive in a genius way. My words are bad. But you get what I'm trying to say, because it really does catch the eye, and that's completely deliberate. And I find it interesting that the deluxe version is a white background. I am trying to make the connection there, trying to see if it's deliberate, like there must be a purpose, right? And I was like, oh, maybe it's white for a certain substance. Maybe that's where we're going. Perhaps it's like, this is the after party. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that I would know, just to babe, I haven't been on a night out, like a proper night out, since I was probably like 19, and I'm 25 now, so I would not know. That culture always eluded me, unfortunately. I always wanted to be one of those girlies, but I want to be in bed by a certain time, and if I'm not, I will cry. So and the last album I kind of want to touch on is What Happened to the Heart by AURORA. Now, I have been an AURORA fan since All My Demons. I saw her live during that at literally a place that I've played in my local city, and it's surreal to see her now doing like Wembley. So I've grown with her. I enjoyed her last project. Can't remember what the hell it was called. That's really upsetting, but you know, I'll put it there. But nothing ever quite captured me like All My Demons. But this new album, it took twists and turns I did not expect, and I salute her for it. There's genre switches in some of the songs, like at the end with the breakdown, and I was gagged. Genuinely, Starvation. I did not expect it to turn into a house trance track, but here we are. I felt like I was underground, in a underground rave, and it was. I can't even express the words because I'm so gagged. I haven't got the track list in front of me. This is so annoying. My Name also is one of my favourites off the track. Your Blood, that was one of my favourites that really hooked me into this era. I was like, I think I'm going to love this album. And I do. I've only listened to it once, so I need to sit with it a bit more to really like solidify, I think, where songs fall. But completely solid album. But yeah, Aurora, I really love how much she's grown, and I feel like with this album she is confident in, I think she's always been very confident, because I don't think she's particularly worried about what other people think about her music, in like a good way, not in like a oh, will people like this, oh my god kind of way. She just knows what she likes, she knows what she wants things to sound like, and she always has from a young age. But with this album, it truly, truly feels like she went in there and said, yeah, I want it to sound like this. I was also shook to find out she was on the new Bring Me the Horizon album. I need to listen to that. That's also on my to listen to list. But I was shocked to find out she was on that. I was like, wait, huh? So I really love, but she's always kind of done bizarre collabs like that. Like she comes out of like left field and she's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And you're like, oh, okay, didn't expect that. Did not expect that. I think I would like to hear her do some more Nordics songs though, like in her mother language, because just to put that on and just feel like I'm floating, that is exactly what I need and want. It makes me sad because I would not be able to sing along, but it's fine. I can use it for relaxation and being sent to different planes. And I'm gonna come back to Chappell Roan, because Chappell Roan, I saw a tweet earlier that was like, is this how people felt? Because she just performed, I don't know what festival it was, but she just performed as the Statue of Liberty at a festival, and slay. And I saw a tweet that was like, is this how people felt in 2010 when Lady Gaga rose to stardom? And I was instantly like, yes, it's the same, but I was around from the beginning for Gaga. Like, I got bullied for liking Just Dance, and I opened up the comments and people were like, Little Monsters were like raging, they were not happy, and I was like, no, actually this is how it felt. It's just a different landscape now. It's not gonna be exactly the same, because Gaga literally came out of nowhere, because there was no social media back then. There wasn't like a big buzz around social media where that's where we find all these new pop stars and stuff like that. But Chappell Roan is the first artist I've looked at in a really long time. I had it with Dua Lipa for a little bit during the Future Now nostalgia era. I was like, oh, she's going to be big. But I just feel like, for some reason in my mind, Dua Lipa to me is British, and that's it. I haven't been able to get past that. And I think her latest album, which is a shame because she does have all the qualities to be this big worldwide pop star, and I'm sure she is to some degree, but I just don't hear Dua Lipa and go international pop star. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think that way about Chappell Roan yet. But my point is, looking at Chappell Roan and seeing her perform, she brings it all. It's not just the music. She is the full package, which we haven't seen in a long time. She is an act. When she is on stage, she is an act. Like this clip of her that was going around saying, I'm your favourite artist's favourite artist. Like that is the energy we need, and that is what a pop star needs to be able to sell. I think the fantasy and the image. You need to be camp as hell. And she manages that. It's really impressive. And I quote retweeted this tweet and I was like, yes, it is. And like, Chappell Roan will never be Lady Gaga, because Lady Gaga is fucking Lady Gaga. She is untouchable. She paved the way for the new generation, just as Madonna did. Lady Gaga paved the way for a new generation of artists like Chappell Roan to be able to do what she does. But Chappell Roan is also in her own league, her own bubble, where she is now doing a similar thing for younger generations. Like, I'm 26 coming up, and I look at her and I see the vision for her. And her speech about turning down to perform at the White House until there's justice, I got chills because I was like, oh my god. Even the way she said, the way she looks in the camera, Gaga Monster Ball coded so much, and you can tell that she grew up in that era. And I'm not saying she's copying by any means, but these things matter because they subconsciously influence how we act and how we craft our own art. I will never be ashamed to say that I am inspired by Gaga, 21 Pilots, Marina, Lily Allen, all these artists to create what I do, because it's not an insult to be taking elements of their music and crafting it into your own. There is obviously straight up copying. Of course there is. That's always, but nothing is original, and it is, I think, more of a skill to take something that has already existed and transform it into something that feels very you. And Chappell Roan does that, in my opinion. And I really want her to go even bigger with her next album. I need full dance. I need full dance from her. I need her to have a Born This Way era, to be honest. But I think I will end it there. I don't think I have any more to say. I just wanted to talk about the albums that have come out recently that I've listened to and been interested in, discussing. Again, I'm still listening to Billy's new album. And I said to I listened to it last night cooking. I said to my boyfriend, I was like, I think I'm becoming a Billie Eilish stan. I was like, this album is so good, and hats off to her, honestly. Top 5 songs of the week. Let's go with the first one being, I'm going to make it Lavish by 21 Pilots, because bop. It just makes me feel good when I listen to it. So bop. Recommend that. Let's go with 365 for Charli XCX. Recommend listening to that one. The breakdown at the end is insane. Love it. And then let's go with My Name for AURORA. Really, really, really loved that song. Interesting production and sound as well. Oh, Down the Drain by Julia Fox. A serve I did not expect, but a serve I gladly ate. And I'm going to be cheeky. I'm feeling a bit cheeky, I'm going to say you should listen to Chapter 4, The Division by Giggsy. I can't even sell my music with a straight face. Highly recommend you listen to it. It's a bop. It's one of my favourite songs I think I've done in a long time. It's very different, I think, to what I'd usually do. At least to me, anyway. But, yeah, my album... It's not an album, you dumb fucking bitch. The EP is out on all streaming. Again, I'll leave it in the drop description thing below. And yeah, I appreciate any listens or streams. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Let's get our Born This Way on. Let's Von Dutch it up. Let's have a feminine omen on. Oh, well, I hate myself. Anyway, I think we shall leave it there before I don't know. I've already said enough to kind of like make people look at me strange, so it's okay, I guess. It's fine. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I suppose I'll see you on the flip in the next one. And yeah. Bye.